Hey everyone, we're back with the What's Sold on eBay. These are the sales for Monday. So far we have, I think, 10 or 12 sales. I don't know, something like that. A little bit lighter. We had a really good weekend last week. In the last video you should have seen, I think we had 50-something sales going out, $2,000 and listing or sales from Friday through Sunday, which is awesome. Today, a little bit slower. Definitely did not reach those numbers. We had a couple of bigger sales come through at the end, which have kind of boosted it up. We still have some time left, so we'll see what happens. Let's get into it and go over what's sold. Oh, and a quick question. Someone asked about how many listings I have. I float around 3,500 to 3,800 depending on how much I'm actually listing. So that's kind of where I am. It is a lot. A lot of it is media type items because I've been selling those a lot lately and they don't take up as much space, so it's pretty easy to house that many listings. But let's go ahead and get into it. Basic pharmacology for nurses study guide and the actual little textbook here. This one sold for like 24 shipped. It came in a big bundle of books we got. I think we spent 10 bucks on it. Sometimes I'll just buy a big box of textbooks or books at a garage sale. If I scan a couple or I notice there's some that are worth money, I'll just buy the whole box and take a chance on it and see, rather than looking them all up there, which can be kind of weird with the person over your head. Or if I'm just like not really into spending the time to look it up, I'll just buy them and we'll take a chance and see what happens. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. This is the song book here. This one sold for 14 or 15 shipped. That one came from the recent $350 book by another one that's done really well for us. I just sold these little Mighty Ducks. They're like foam pucks here. There's two of them. They sold for, I had them listed at 20. They're kind of beat up though. Someone offered 15 and I said, sure, they'll go out first class. So hopefully they'll go to a nice home of someone who likes Mighty Duck stuff. And I think those were from Storage Unit Guy. We did sell a camera here. This is a Polaroid autofocus 660. This one sold for like 31 shipped. I've been doing pretty well on these Polaroids. Biggest problem is testing them if you don't have the film and everything. If you have a cartridge that still has a charge and some film in there, sometimes you can plug it in and test it out, but that's kind of a risk you run with some of the cameras. I've had a few returns over the past couple months of different camera type items, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to mess with them in the future, just because I've gotten a couple back and I'm just going to try to weigh and see if it's really worth it over the rest of this year to see if I'm getting more returns or too many returns where it's countering out what I'm making. So 31 shipped, does seem to work. We'll see what happens. Here's a Sony Walkman. This one's a really cool Walkman, but it's jacked up. This is the, what is the model number? WM5, but yeah, not good. This one sold for a best offer of 57 shipped. It does come with the case, which is ratted out too. But 58 shipped on this guy. This came in a Storage Unit Guy buy. The cassette itself, the outer case is not that, the Walkman's not that bad, but the inside I'm not sure. So we sold it for parts for 58 bucks. I'm happy with that. G3 Live in Concert. I think this one sold for $9 shipped from that same Dark Side of the Moon buy. So another little media item going out. And then Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus is a video study by Nabil Qureshi. I think I got 3 or 4 of these at a garage sale for 50 cents each. This one finally sold for like 13 or 14 shipped, so we have a bunch of those. So hopefully the rest will sell. A couple of Sims games from the PC little lot we had. Sims Glamour Life, and then Sims 2 Mansion and Garden stuff. One sold for I think 10, and then one sold for 20. So I'm not sure which one is which, but one was 10, one is 20. So these Sim stuffs have done well. I've said before, a lot of times the key code for the PC game is on the back of the manual. If you don't see it in the case itself, look on the back of the manual. There might be the key code there. So those ones had it. Here is a rock mount wear. It's got like an eagle on it. You might be able to see that. This sold for like 42 bucks. It's a great looking shirt. So 42 bucks on that. I want to say I paid maybe 3 or 4 bucks at a garage sale. So again, good little Western one to go out. Here's a Midland, or no, not a Midland, a Midtronics Rotunda. It's a Ford little tester here. I sold it for parts for 40 bucks. I have no idea if it works. A little concerned about this one coming back too. In my listing it says for parts, but and it says I don't know if it works, anything like that, but we'll see if it actually, if I get it back or not. It's one of those ones, looking back, I probably wouldn't list it again because it's in rough shape, and I mean, if it works, you know it works, you can get $100 and something for it, but it's just probably a likelihood that this one might come back too. So we'll see. We'll pray that it doesn't, but I'll let you know if it does. We sold a little GE electronic tube here. This one sold for like 12 bucks shipped, something like that on its own. And then we also sold a big box of Harvard Classics, like books or whatever. It's like a nice books, like a bookshelf set. They sold for a best offer of 80 shipped. They're going to Oregon. I don't know. I'm guessing we'll probably still ship them medium mail. Maybe the priority mail or FedEx might be pretty reasonable because it's not too far away. But 80 bucks on those. I don't even know what we paid. I think we've had them for a while, maybe 20 bucks, something like that. So happy to get them out of here. Probably wouldn't buy that set again. It does sell. It's better if you have a nice, you know, larger set if you're going to sell them, and they're in really great shape. But it's just a little bit of a slow seller. So that's all I have for you guys right now. I did sell like a Kirby game last night that you guys didn't see in the other video. I like a little Kirby Game Boy, sold for like 12 something and some change. So that one did go out, but let's see what comes next, and hopefully Tuesday we'll have some awesome sales to show you guys. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, final sales from Monday. Crazy thing happened. It started off kind of slow in the beginning of the video. You guys heard me say, you know, wasn't too great, but a couple bigger sales came through. And then a big one came through, $250, guys, but we will get to that next. It is a t-shirt. There are a couple other smaller things. We sold the Kinks face-to-face. CD sold for about $12.74, something like that on sale. John Fogerty, the Royal Albert Hall concert little DVD, sold for, I think, 10 bucks. That's from the, we've been talking about the $350 haul. That's from there. And then we sold a couple of Paw Patrol little plush. They sold for 13 bucks for the 3 of them. These were just in a big plush buy that we had a big box of plush, and I just listed them. Not really worth a whole lot, but we'll take it. But the crazy thing was, and this I think I underpriced. It is Ride. So you guys can see that. This thing is disgusting. I mean, it's been washed, but it's like, it's been worn, it's yellowed, it's stained, but it's going blank again. I mean, this thing is, I mean, it's still usable. You could wear it, but it's definitely been through the ringer. This came from the Rock and Roll Buy. Some of you guys might remember. If you do, let me know if you in the comments or something. Maybe some of you have been watching that long. But I bought a bunch of CDs, DVDs, records, cassettes, and books from a guy who collected rock and roll stuff. He had a storage unit. One of my sources bought the unit from through the storage auction, and I bought everything, all the contents. I think my friend that I buy from, he spent a few $100s. I ended up spending about $700 or $800 on everything, and he kept some stuff for himself, but he basically doubled up on just the media stuff from me, and I got a couple of guitar pedals, but there were a bunch of shirts that he gave me as well. Some of them were trash, but finally I'm getting around to list some of them. I had them for a while. This one was in there. It kind of smelled a little bit, so we washed it. There's no tag, but it definitely is an older one. The comps were crazy because there was one listed for like $300 or something like that. Same one as mine. It looked like it was in better shape, $300 something. Looking at the sold comps, there were none really sold recently, but through the research tab on the eBay thing, after Terapeak or whatever, I found some similar ones were going for $180, $255, $240, kind of all in that ballpark around the same price. Found one listed online for $300 on like Etsy or something like that, in a little better shape than mine. So I was like, okay, I'll probably put mine at $250. It's beat up, it's kind of grungy, and it sold like boom right away. So it had no size tag, so I'm like, great. Obviously I must have underpriced it though, because if it sold that quickly, it had a little more value probably to it. Maybe not. Maybe someone was just really looking forward for it, but either way, it sold for $250. Probably should have just auctioned it off at $250 if I knew I was comfortable there. If we get a couple extra bids, great. If not, if one buyer jumps on it, we're good to go. So that was probably a rookie move by me. But again, this shirt, $250 going out. I spent, like I said, $700 to $800. It's like $700, almost $800 on that whole thing. We had listed over $10,000 in just media, and I just found another box of CDs that I haven't gone through yet. And the CDs, a lot of them were really great. So that's probably the last bit from that buy. And then I have 2 totes full of tour shirts and different music type shirts and some older vintage stuff. So we're going to work on that next. But great buy there. I mean, this is a third of, you know, what we paid, a fourth of what we paid just in this one shirt. And we've already sold over $3,000 worth of media. So it's been awesome. Probably underpriced a little bit, but I'm not going to complain. I'm going to be grateful because we have very little into this and we're making pretty good money. So hopefully it goes to a good home. That's all I got for you guys. I'll see you in the next clip with what sells on Tuesday. Hey everyone, we're back with the sales for Tuesday. You guys just saw that t-shirt sell for $250. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Super blessed and happy. Did not have a $250 sale today. We got $150 to show you and a couple other ones as well. So definitely happy with that. Sales are moving. Usually this is the time of the year where I think sales can kind of slow down as we approach the summer for some people. So I'm hoping we'll continue to be pretty strong and make some money. And I'm definitely going to keep listing, and hopefully more of this stuff will move and I'll have more cool stuff to show you. So let's get into it. First off, we have a Levi, this is like a brand new with tag shirt. Got it for, this may have been in the Hirsch buy, I'm not sure, but it sold for 20 bucks. It's an XL, double XL, sorry. A brand new with tag, no wear or anything. It sold for 20 shipped. It's going to ship out for 5 something, so pretty easy there. Again, I don't mess with a lot of clothing, but new with tags, pretty easy, can't complain. This is the control unit to that Bruno chairlift. It's like the computer part, little motherboard here. This sold for like 50 or 60 shipped. We'll see how it goes. I've kind of been parting that thing out. Couldn't really test it. The original owner had told the guy I bought it from that everything worked. It just had a lot of aesthetic damage, so we're going to see if that piece, hopefully it works and there's no issue there. That'll be another 60 bucks, which are pretty cool. Here are some inks I got from the discount store. They buy pallets and stuff. They buy CVS pallets. These ones actually have CVS stickers in the back. These expired in 2020. These two sold for $40 shipped. We're in them for, I think, $5 or $6 each. So 10 to 12 or 12 and some change maybe with tax. And they sold for $40 shipped. Probably just put them like this in a bubble mailer and they should go out first class. So pretty good deal there. Here's one of the better items, guys. I won't make you wait too long. These White Dwarf magazines here. There's a huge stack of them. You'll see on the screen. These are from one of the storage unit guy buys. I got a bunch of these, a bunch of other different strategy guides, and some primitive archer magazines, and just kind of all random different, a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons type RPG stuff and just random books. It was a great deal. These finally sold for like 150 shipped for all of them. They are magazines though, so basically I can't ship a media, but I should be able to find a nice cost-effective shipping because they're pretty compact, just heavy. Those went out for 150 bucks. I want to say that day we may have spent $400 or $500 on everything we bought, and just this one set sold for 150, which is awesome. So definitely something to look out for. Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, a lot of that stuff can have value. Not all of it, but definitely worth looking into. We sold 2 of these untamed little fingerling raptor things here. My wife picked these up Walmart clearance. She's had them for a while. They were in our storage unit, and she was going to list them at the time, but we kind of got thrown in there when we were moving, so they've been sitting there, and I've gone ahead and now enlisted them on my store, and they sold for $32 shipped. They'll probably ship out for around $8 to $10. I think she got them for $5 a piece, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll probably just barely be shy of doubling up on this one, or right at doubling up, depending on how much the shipping is. But not the greatest, but lotting them together in lots of 2, we should make a little bit of money that. Plus, it's a multi-quantity listing, so pretty good. And Walmart clearance is just kind of hard, guys, because a lot of people end up with it because they know about it. So you really got to be pretty careful. A lot of people can end up with the same items you have, and it's just a race to the bottom. If I do buy something like that, I try to just wait till everyone else sells out of theirs, and then I'll sell mine and go from there. But yeah, that sold for $32. This is a part of one of probably the dumbest buys I've ever made. There's probably 3 or 4 that I can remember offhand that I look at in my garage now, and I'm like, why did I buy that? These are them. The deal wasn't so bad financially, where we got a Cricket machine and a bunch of these little car radio little kit things. This one sold for like 13 bucks or something. It usually goes first class, or just sometimes just barely over, so you make even less money, but I think this one will go first class, and we'll be in it for, we'll probably make $4 or $5 on it, but they don't sell that often. A lot of them are for older cars, but that day we got a Cricket machine and all those for 50 bucks. Luckily the Cricket sold for like 150, so we made profit on just that, but I knew these weren't that valuable. Went ahead and picked them up anyways and thought I'll still make some money. They'll sell, and they've just sold very slow, and I'll be happy when they're all gone if they ever sell. But I wouldn't recommend those, but yeah, that's one of the worst ones. Another one, guys, Rakes, R-A-I-K-E-S, circus bears. I have a whole wall of, not a wall, but like a whole shelf full of them here, and I've not sold one. And I spent 80 bucks on all of them, plus another 60 bucks on some dolls, and bought them from a guy who buys storage units, and I haven't sold one of any of them. So we're 140 down, and hopefully one day we'll sell one. We'll see. They're big and bulky, so shipping's going to kill us. But you guys don't want to hear about all the negatives. Let's talk about some more fun stuff. Some ketogenics, brand new sealed. One is the detox, and one is the keto pills. It's like a month's supply for each. They're brand new. They still have the thing, and they expire in 2022. $1 a piece on these. These sold for $35 shipped for the pair. Great deal. Got them at a sale where I got some old Scottie Pippen 1999 shoes, which are great Nikes. I happened to see these sitting at the table. She wanted $1. Health and beauty stuff can do really well, guys, especially if it's not expired. Brand new sealed stuff. It's worth your time taking a look for it. This Polaroid here, this is a one-step autofocus. I think it sold for like 20-something shipped. With these, I usually just put them in bubble wrap and put them in a padded flat rate. I used to be able to sell these to Retrospect for about $28 shipped every time they buy every camera. They've kind of curbed their buying a little bit. So 22 bucks or 21 bucks, we'll probably make 7 or 8 on it. I probably got it for $1 or $2. The Polaroids, I'm not picking them up unless they're $1 or $2 or something very special, like the Barbie one or something real unique. But that one went out for 21. We've been doing really well, and you guys probably are getting tired of this, of all these tour and DVDs from different music artists and different shows. They came in that big $350 buy. James Taylor Squib Knocket sold for 20 bucks. This is from that same buy. Loggins and Messina, I think is what it is. I'm not sure. This one sold for 28 shipped. And then Bad Company in Concert sold for 12. So really good deal. I've been super happy with all of those. Made a lot of money on these DVDs. Super happy with those. We were making a lot of our money back on these. We still have a whole box of DVDs to go through and get listed, and multiple boxes of books and magazines. So when we're all done, we spent $350 on everything. I would probably guess that I haven't been tracking it as well as I probably should. I have to go back and look at my books, but I want to say we're probably almost at the point where we've made most of our money back, and we still have quite a bit left. So I love media. You guys know that. It's not exciting, but it makes money. Sony RMS109. This is an old listing. You'll see this remote sold for 8 and some change. Obviously, it's not super desirable, or my price was way off, but it finally sold. I love remotes too. Super easy to list, especially if you're newer. Find them at a garage sale. Do the old camera phone test. Put the batteries in and see if they work. At least you get a signal or whatever, and you can make some good money there. We have some training golf clubs. These are what are they called? Momentous, I think. Yeah, Momentous. There's 2 of them. They're heavier. They're kind of for training. These ones sold for $40 shipped on a best offer. They should have gone for more than that. They probably should have gone for 50 something. My listing picture is not good because it says you get 2 clubs, but it only shows, the first picture shows the iron. It doesn't show the putter. You can see in the background like the putter shaft or whatever, but it was just a bad picture. So I finally took a best offer of 40. Didn't even realize it was like that. But I'm happy to get rid of them. They came in a big with a box of other clubs, and these were thrown in there, and we've already made money. So 40 bucks. They'll probably ship out for 10 to 15. Pretty easy listing there. We sold a PS2 Slim. Comes with a controller. No memory card on this one, but it does come with all the cords. This sold for $135. The last 1 or 2 we sold for like $120 or something like that, and they sold right away. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to up the price a little bit, see if we can get a little more, and it ended up selling for $135. But it's been up for probably a week and a half, so it took a little bit longer, but it did end up selling. Granted, it does have one of the colored controllers there, so it's like blue or purple, whatever it is. That helps a little bit more value than maybe just a standard, just stock color controller, but I don't know if that made a difference. But $135 ship, a couple extra bucks. I'll wait a week and a half for that, not a problem. And then I think this is our last listing, our last sale, guys. This is a Darth Vader phone here. Pretty cool. It doesn't really work properly. It kind of works, like some of the sound works, but and the phone will pick up, but some of the buttons don't work or don't work every time. Got this for 10 bucks at a garage sale. It was the time when I bought the it was when I bought the Virtual Boy in the box. It was brand new open box. We sold that for $600. We paid I think like 40 bucks or something like that, 50 bucks for it. And they sold this to me for 10. They said it worked. I ended up finally selling it for $40 shipped. It's probably going to cost us about 15 to 18 bucks to ship it, I'm guessing. It's just kind of bulky. By the time I bubble wrap it up nice and get in the box, it's going to go around that rate. So in the end, don't know how much money we're really going to make on this. Probably a little bit, but not really that much. If it ships for 18, that's 28 in. We're down to 12 after your fees. 6 bucks. We maybe make 6 or 7 bucks on this. If it ships closer, we might make a little bit more, but granted, the Virtual Boy ended up being a way better profit, so I really can't complain at all. And I think that's all I have for you guys. If anything else comes up, I'll be sure to show it in the next clip. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.